Okay, so guys, this is podcast episode, I don't know what, 29. And I'm here with my brother, Scott Duffy. I want to just a quick backstory, Scott, from when I met you. Uh,
Yeah.
met you at one of the coolest events ever with our buddy Randy Garn.
Oh yeah.
I went to New York Yankee Stadium, and you brought us in to meet Cashman,
Yeah, Brian Cashman.
analytics team. I met Devin Denofa, who became my real estate agent. Yeah, I've
Wow.
done I've done
Wow.
three transactions with Devin so far.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So Devin Denofa was there. Randy Garn was there. There was just amazing. Jeff Hunter was there. There were so many amazing people at that event, and it was just really, really a great time. And that was my first interaction with you. And then we became friends. Randy is a mutual friend of ours, and I went to your AI Maverick seminar a couple months ago with my manager. And man, phew, God, man, the people you brought at that seminar, like I thought I was kind of like a little bit ahead with AI. And I know this is not a great time. Like we're live at 2:30. So most of the gyms we work with are getting ready to teach their classes and stuff. But I know they're going to get a lot of great nuggets from watching you. You also introduced me to Andrew from Delphi.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
my guy. Yeah.
super guy. So we're doing a podcast with the owner, the CEO.
All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as Dar, yes. Next Friday we're doing a podcast with him. I don't think anyone's even that is the craziest stuff I've ever seen.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, you are so connected, Scott. And tell us a little bit of like, also, weren't you voted by Entrepreneur Magazine one of the top 10 speakers in the world?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So for like entrepreneurship and business training stuff like that. It was something like that. I mean, um, I was just really fortunate to be on that list. I was excited about
So
that.
humble, just like Randy. I'd be like, yeah, that was me. And then you also sold your company to Richard Branson.
I did. Well, I sold it to Virgin. So Branson's Virgin Group, yeah, and had a chance to do some really cool things with him, and yeah, really fortunate for that experience also.
Yeah, that was awesome. And here they come. Here comes the brothers. All right, so they're
Here
coming
they
on,
come.
coming on now.
We
So
got a girl. We got a girl dad there.
yeah, we do. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my trainer, Joe Silvers, and then we have Godfather. Godfather, yeah, man, smart brothers. I know it's a bad time because everyone's like getting ready for classes and stuff, but just a little quick recap, guys. I met Scott at a mastermind at Yankee Stadium, Joe, several years ago. That's where I met Devin Denofa and a lot of other killers. It was at Yankee Stadium, and we learned how the Yankees were tracking analytics at the time. This was about 7 years ago, and
Yeah.
that's also real good friends with Randy Baron Baptiste. He was also voted top 10 speaker in the world by Entrepreneur Magazine. So yeah, this Scott is, and you work for Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
So I mean, Scott, and he sold his company to Richard Branson and Virgin Group.
Yeah.
I know you guys are busy, but I want to say you're smart people jumping on here. And then one of Scott's partners, he'll be on the AI. We're doing another call with AI next Friday. The
Yeah.
CEO of a company that Godfather, it's actually so advanced that's people are like when I say, I don't mean it derogatory. Some people aren't ready for it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I've already tried showing you guys, and it's like people aren't even picking up on it. But Joe, for what you're trying to do with training and stuff, Godfather, anyone that's doing coaching, I have the CEO of this coming on next week, and that's all thanks to Scott. I met him at AI Mavericks when I was in Utah with Scott's event. So Scott has a company now, AI Mavericks. And Scott, tell us a little about, just tell us quickly about, I already gave them like the whole big introduction. Tell us about AI Mavericks.
So basically, I was raising money in 20. So I got into AI in 2022. And in the summer of 22, I decided to build like an AI tool. I've been studying the predecessor of ChatGPT, GPT-2, and things like that. Was really familiar with what it was capable of, and decided to take a technology that I had and like boost it with steroids using GPT-2. And so we built this company, and ChatGPT came out like 6 months later. So it seemed like we were in the perfect place at the perfect time. We put together a big round of financing, and it was scheduled to close the second week of March last year. But the week before, Silicon Valley Bank went out of business,
Yep.
and First Republic Bank went out of business. And those are two of the most important banks for technology companies in the world, certainly in Silicon Valley in the United States. And so what happened was the entire financing market just stopped. And so what would happen is, I've got a ton of people in my investor network, and And then they start calling me over the summer and they're like, Scott, we got a problem. First of all, we're not investing in new stuff. All of our new stuff funds are going into old stuff because they need to raise money and the markets are shut down now. But they have a problem. And the problem is that they're being asked, this is last year, 6 months into ChatGPT, right? They're being asked to tell an AI story, and none of them really understand AI. We don't want them to sit in the office and learn it. We want them to go out and raise money. Can you create like a program, a framework, and come in and do that for us? Help us to develop an AI vision, strategy, and roadmap for our portfolio companies. And then would you teach these people how to actually communicate their strategy to their boards or their investors or their teams? Because everyone looks at it differently. And that's what I did. And I got so many calls, I ended up turning it into a business earlier this year. And the business is called AI Mavericks. And, at a high level, we work with founders and CEOs and leadership teams. They've got cool companies, but now they're trying to learn how to implement AI in their business. And what I say is this, almost everyone that starts with us is stuck between this like fear of missing out and the fear of jumping in. Like they don't even know where to start.
Yep.
And the tech words and stuff just freaks them out, right? Just like it did for me. And so what we do is we really simplify AI for you in non-technical terms, non-technical jargon, and make it easy to understand. We share a ton of case studies and demos. We teach people how to use ChatGPT just so you can see what's possible, like what's already out there. And then what we do is, if you like, we'll help you to build a roadmap for your business. We'll give you a couple of ideas. Pretty much what we do. We do live events, we do online events, we're building certifications, consulting. That's our business.
Love it, man. Love it. And Scott, so like most of the people that are listening to the Brotherhood podcast are gym
Yeah,
owners, a lot of gym owners, like
yeah.
art school owners and stuff. Is AI even applicable for them?
Well, I mean, it really is in so many ways. Like the way I think about AI is this. Like AI is nothing more than a tool to help you to solve a problem or optimize an area of your business. That's it. So what I always do is I ask myself, what is the goal that I have in my business or in my department or whatever it is? I ask myself, what do I need to do to get there? What could get in the way? How am I going to overcome it? And who do I know that can help me to overcome it faster? So when I go through that process and I run into the problems that could get in the way, I start asking myself, is there an AI tool that I could use that might be able to solve this for me and do it quickly and simply and easily and all that kind of stuff? That's how we look at it.
Love it. What are some of the like for people that are just getting started? What are the top like? Could you give us maybe the top 5 tools they should check out? Because I know people will want to like at your seminar, it was incredible. You gave me so many access to so many different things. Like, but for someone who's just starting out, obviously besides ChatGPT, but like, what are some other things and tools they should like they should look at?
Well, so let me just give you a couple of examples because, like, here's the thing. I don't really care about what the world's going to look like in 50 years. Like, I just care about like what is actually out there today that's practical. And my partner and I, we look at about 30 tools every single month, tool companies,
Wow.
and we test them. And I'm just going to tell you, 98% of them aren't going to be in business at the end of the year because they haven't been able to raise money. And of the 2% that are left, 98% of those, because people had trouble raising money, were built by engineers and technical people. And there's no consideration of the front end, like making it easier for non-people like tech people like me. Like if you open up Gmail, you can figure out how to use Gmail, right? When you open up a lot of these tools, you actually need somebody with a technical background to help you out in many cases. So I just want to share a couple things that are kind of practical and cool
Love it.
and share kind of what I do. So can I share my screen? Is that possible?
Eric, if I put you in a breakout room with Julian, could you help him out for a couple minutes? I don't know. He wants to know follow-up stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yep.
So
Scott,
do you mind if I share my screen?
please do. I think that they would love to
Okay.
get some visual.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll just show you guys some stuff because I think it's easier than just talking about it. Okay. So one of the problems that I had was I I've done a really poor job of staying connected with people through a newsletter, right? And it's just kind of like a fundamental thing that many businesses have to stay in touch. But the thing is, I'm on the road. I split my time between Newport Beach and Utah. I'm on the road at least 50% of the time there. And we haven't even talked about my speaking and stuff. So I just didn't have the time to do it. So I went to a company named Daily AI, DAILY dot AI. And I said, here's the problem that I have. They do automated AI emails and newsletters. I said, here's the problem I have. And they said, well, here's what we can do for you. You create the topic that you want to talk about. You tell us who your target customer is. And then they said, you tell us, what do you read? What kind of topics, what kind of content, where do you go? Where do you find the kind of information you'd want to share? And so what I did is I gave them a list. I said, this is the topic. I want to talk about AI. What do I want to do? I want to summarize. There's so many new developments every day. I want to summarize just for like leaders, the most important things that they need to know from the previous week. And I want them to be able to read it in 3 minutes or less. And I said, these are the places I go to get my AI news. And I said, and I sent them that. I said, can you do it? They said, yes. We had a 1 hour onboarding call. During that call, I sent them links or sites or whatever. That's all the time I've spent. Today, every Tuesday, the AI automatically creates a newsletter for me. It reads everything that I read and it summarizes it. Each section is based on what I said I wanted it to talk about. It gives the points. It tells you what each thing means to you. So you can see this story. Here's the key points. Here's why it matters to you. And all I can put an ad in here, right? And all I have to do, this is all I have to do. Every Friday at about 1 o'clock, I get an email and it's got this in it. And all I have to do is read it once and approve it. Takes me about 3 minutes every week. I click approved and that's it. That's my newsletter now. And everything is done for me. Now, here's what's really cool. What's really cool is the AI learns what each individual reader, when they open up the newsletter, clicks on, spends their time on. So next week, they're rolling out a new feature for me that is for each individual person. Here's what we recommend for you based on how they've interacted with the newsletter. The list I sent it to, I hadn't interacted with that list in 4 years. And it was as a business growth guy. It wasn't as an AI guy. And from the first newsletter we sent out, the open rate was over 26%. And the click rate inside was actually good also, and it keeps improving. So this is just a really simple, practical thing I do, saves me a ton of time, and it keeps me connected with my audience.
Awesome.
Another tool, another problem that I've had, and again, I'm just trying to like share some really practical stuff. So another issue for me was a podcast. So I read every day, there's a ton of new AI news that comes out. A lot of it that's being reported is duplicative. I used to spend about 2 hours every morning reading all of these like newsletters and things like that. So I went to somebody who was in the podcast space and I said, here's what I want to do. I want, when I'm shaving in the morning, to be able to listen to a summary of the news that day. And it takes me about 5 minutes to shave. So it can't be any more than 5 minutes. So what just went up on Spotify is this. So now I have an automated podcast that is a daily summary of all the news. So basically what I did is I sent them the same exact list and contact sources that I use for the newsletter. And I said, those are the places I read and we summarize once a week. Can you summarize it daily for me? So now the AI goes in and it summarizes everything. And on average, it's about 5 minutes. Today's was 7 minutes because there's a lot of stuff today, but we shoot for 5 minutes every day. I don't have to read anything anymore during the day about AI. I get it when I'm shaving in the morning. How cool is that? And so anybody who subscribes to this, it's just really easy. And everything automatically uploads to my podcast on Spotify. And right now we're working to put it on Apple. So that's another example. That company is called Podcast Launchpad.
My God.
And then I'll show you one more thing. So this is an AI clone. So I'm gonna do it a little different. I'm gonna go to let me go to my website. This is my personal website. So here's the deal. I had an issue with when I shifted to AI, I kept getting calls from people. Hey, can you teach me how to raise money? Can you teach me how to scale my company? I'm having a problem with a business partner. Can you help me out? But I didn't want to spend time answering those questions. So what I did is I partnered with Delphi, who's going to be on your podcast next week. And you can tell them I was sharing the story. And so I went to them and they were very young. And I said, here's my problem. And they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a digital clone of you, is what we're going to do. We're going to upload all of your books. I have 3 of them. We're going to upload all the articles that you've written, just the link. That's it. We're going to read the website. We're going to put all that stuff up there. We're going to have it listen to all of your videos on YouTube. And then we're going to train the clone to act like you and ask any question. So, as an example, and just so you guys understand this, to upload all this stuff into, so I just dragged and dropped my books. I dragged and dropped a Google Sheet that had links to all the YouTube. I dragged and dropped a sheet that had a link to all my articles. I did that. It took 2 minutes for the entire system to train itself. So now, if I go to Delphi and I say, say Scott, how do I raise capital? And I just hit it like this. What it's going to do is it's going to pull from all of my information. I'm going to show you something else. If I ask it, I can also call myself.
Disclaimer, this is a digital clone. Hey, I'm Scott Duffy. What can I help you with today?
We're working on the voice, but it's getting there. Hey, Scott, can you teach me how to raise capital?
Raising capital is one of the most crucial steps for any entrepreneur, and it can be a game changer for your business. First, you need to understand that investors are looking for opportunities that align with their interests and expertise. It's vital to do your homework and find out what industries and stages of investment they prefer. This way, you're not wasting time pitching.
So the point is, when somebody asks me a question about raising money or any of those things I don't want to talk about anymore, I send them my website, or I give them my phone number and say, hey, just give it a call. It's free. So there's some really simple and practical things that are out there, and I just use them across all the businesses. The last thing I want to mention is another company that I think is really interesting and could actually be, it actually, Nick, could be a really interesting thing to like customize and then spread throughout the industry. So the company is called sales.ai. And basically, another issue that I've had in the past is responding to inbound. So I'll get an inbound lead. Somebody will come to a website and they'll say, I'm interested in this, or they'll have a question, or they'll whatever. What sales.ai is able to do is take your inbound lead. First of all, they can actually find you leads. So that's important to know. So they can find you leads. I'm using them for if there's an inbound lead that comes through my social media, my email, my text, the chatbot on my website, somebody filling out a form on my website, it jumps in and acts like the best salesperson that you've ever had.
Awesome.
It starts to have a conversation. It pre-qualifies the lead for you. It will help you. Hey, you interested in booking an appointment and going in? Here's the schedule. You want to call somebody? Here's their number. You want to buy something? Awesome. We'll help you out with that. It's an unbelievable tool. You can even have it call you now. So, hey, would you rather that we do this over the phone? Yeah, sure. And it will call you and sound exactly like a human. Instead of trying to clone our voices, what they've done is focused on perfecting a handful of voices. So the cadence, the pauses, everything, it's just like a human. It's unbelievable.
Scott, so who were some of the people that you had that when I was at your event in August? Who were some of the people you had? Like you had someone, Peter Diamandis, someone from Google. I mean, these were some of the most incredible. Like they had PhDs in like I don't know
Yeah.
what the delays even were. Who were
Yeah.
the people you had at your event?
I mean, we had guys like we had Gary Fowler, who's invested in over 240 AI businesses and runs GSD Ventures. We had, who else is that? Barkley Burns. Barkley Burns is on the board in Utah of the State Venture Fund. He's only one of 7 people, and he runs the Point Project, which is Utah's in the process. They just cleared the land of creating what will be the biggest AI innovation center in the country in their like Silicon Valley. He's on that board. He's the dean of AI at UVU, the biggest university in the state, and they just submitted the first curriculum to get accredited for a university for AI. So we had Barkley, he was there. We had Anthony Batt, he was like on the startup team. He actually named Craigslist back in the day, started a company he built to 100 million monthly users, active users. We had Anthony, we had a lot, we had some awesome people. Yeah.
Incredible, Ben. I think that those tools, like that, I think a lot of people are starting to experiment with it. And I think that most of the gym owners that I'm talking to, they're starting to use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They're using ChatGPT to write copy, to write emails and stuff like that. The cloning tool, I think when they see Dara next week, I think that a lot of them will understand it. The only thing, like I totally agree with you, especially with the AI. Like if I didn't have someone like Eric, who's very like insane on
Yeah.
computers, like I don't know if I ever would have gotten it off the ground. Like, you know, what
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, because, and then, so that's just a lot of these tools that I've gotten, that seems to be like, you kind of touched on that earlier. Some of the tools, like you literally need a programmer or a developer or you got to pay someone. But the thing is, I mean, in some cases, guys, that people are listening in, that might be the better thing to do. Like if it's something that could help move you faster, and just because you don't know, you're not as tech savvy or you don't have someone, because that was the thing. I think that that would be a great coaching tool. So I think when Dara comes on Friday, I recommend everyone. I'll let you know the time he's coming on. But that, Scott, that was a great point. Like a lot of these tools some of them are pretty tough. Like when I met the people from your event, like I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing. But then some of the things like they're not great for small business because it's a $50,000 setup fee or 25,000.
Yeah. So I think that, I want to give you guys all some perspective. So I was really early in consumer internet. Like I wrote the internet was around for 25 years. It actually launched in 1969. But in December of 1994, Mark Andreessen created the first browser, like Safari and Chrome. It was the first time that anyone had access to the internet and could get on and play with it. AI has been around for almost 70 years. And actually, the term artificial intelligence is from like 1955, 56. It's taken almost 70 years until ChatGPT launched and gave us all a simple way of being able to interact with it. It just didn't exist. So in technology, again, I'm not going to get technical. In technology, there's something that's called the technology adoption cycle. And it's like a bell curve, is what it is. And it basically is how fast does it take people to actually use this thing? And the speed at which people adopt technology is different for different things. So the speed at which somebody adopted like the iPhone, which like went out of the gates like this, versus like those Facebook VR glasses that nobody bought, totally different. So what you find is at the very bottom of the bell curve is innovators. In technology, these are people that bought the Google glasses or the Facebook things the day they came out. They don't care if they work, they just want to be first. And that's about 1.5% of the population. You go from innovators to early adopters. These are people that wait a little bit longer to work out some of the bugs. It's about 13.5% of the population. Then what happens is you start to go up the bell curve and you hit the early mainstream market, then the mainstream, the late mainstream, and the laggards. The laggards are 1.5%. Early adopters are 1.5%. Here's why that's important. Oh, by the way, laggards are the kind of people that still don't have email, they send faxes, right? That's what they are. They're never going to adopt it. The reason I bring this up is when you take a look at where we are in the tech adoption cycle, for companies under 100 million in sales, only 6% of companies in America under 100 million in sales used AI last month. So a lot of people are going on and they've signed up for ChatGPT and they're using it. They want to see what it is. They're playing with it. The number one way that people are using AI inside of a small business right now is that somebody on a team, typically marketing, somebody in the marketing department has gone and they've learned how to use it, and they've learned how to write better copy, and they've learned how to write better ads. And so they're using it on the side. They're not even necessarily telling anybody because they're doing their job faster and easier. And they don't even necessarily want anybody to know.
Yep.
I bring this up because if you feel like you're way behind, you're not. You're not. And what I found in the internet was those first 2 years from, and I don't know if I mentioned this, like I wrote a business plan for Yahoo that was theoretical on how you'd make money on a website when they had 10 people. There were no ads yet. Yahoo didn't do search yet. I've been around, I was there early. Those first 2 years, 95 and 96, it was like impossible to get small businesses to come on because it was really hard to use, right? The tool, just like today, the tools weren't intuitive. But then over time, they got really easy. And it was like one day everybody woke up with a sense of urgency and they're like, I need a website today for my business or I'm dead. We're not there yet. And we're probably with small businesses 18 months away from that, 18 to 24 away from that. But here's the thing. If you start to get your arms around the fundamental things of how it works today, you just develop a foundational understanding of that. Maybe you start to test a couple things, like a newsletter, like something that's really simple, right? Like you test a couple things. When all of those people are rushing to your market to do AI, you're going to be a zillion miles ahead of all of them. While they're still trying to figure it out, you've already figured it out and you're doing something. And that's the really cool part about playing with it today.
It's awesome, Scott. Scott, let me let these guys ask you some questions too, like John and the guys that are here on the call, because and you'll be at the event in January, so I think they'll be awesome for everybody to meet you. So let's go. Godfather, you have any questions for Scott?
Well, Scott, Scott, I understand the 5 minutes of shaving, to be truthful. So a lot of people don't know that we have double the skin to have to
That's right.
So, so Chat GBT is really, I think, is that like the ground floor that every one of us should start to really become friends with?
It is.
Yeah.
And can I share with you how to do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So literally go into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, just say, I'm a business owner. This is the business that I'm in. What are the 3 most important things I need to know about ChatGPT? It will tell you. What are 3 things I should learn how to do with ChatGPT? It'll tell you. What's really cool is you can just ask it. You can even say, ChatGPT, I'm new to this. I'm afraid of AI. I don't know how this works. Can you help me? And it will. And here's the thing. You can hit the audio thing and it will speak it to you. Or you can get the text and soon it'll be an avatar showing video of somebody talking to you. It's like that. It's that easy. And let me explain something about ChatGPT to you. So with AI, okay, in 20 seconds, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about the tech behind AI. Okay. I'm going to give you 70 years of tech in 30 seconds, 20 seconds. 1955, 56, they first used the word artificial intelligence, and it was mainly theoretical, right? It was used for 40, 50 years in a couple of fields. It was used in military stuff. It was used in research and university stuff. It was used in medicine, okay? In the 80s, something was created called a neural network. Here's the only thing you need to know about that. If you said, hey, you're a neural network, what do you do? One of the things it would say is, I understand human language. That's it. That's all you have to know. In 2017, something came out called a transformer. It was a huge breakthrough. GPT, the T is transformer. Transformer is a kind of neural network. If you say, Mr. Transformer, what do you do? It would say this. I can read a book and I can memorize everything while I'm reading it. If you ask me a question, I know exactly where to find it instantly. If you ask me to write a story, I can based on what I learned. That's all you have to know about the biggest breakthrough that had happened in history in AI to that point. Later that year, here's the problem. With the Transformer, you can read one book. Then what happened was there was a discovery called a large language model. A large language model is what people refer to ChatGPT as. A large language model, or an LLM. If you asked it what it could do, it would say, I can read an unlimited, billions of books. I can memorize everything while I'm reading it. If you ask me to write a story, write a book, create a video, I can do all that based on what I've learned. That's all you need to know. And that thing, that LLM, is the brains of ChatGPT. That's how it works. It's that simple. I understand human language. I can read a book. I can read a billion books, and that's my brain in ChatGPT. So just like really simplified. Now here's the thing. Here's what's really freaking cool. So there's a computer chip that basically stores the information, powers. It's like the brain, like that learns all this stuff. It took 7 years for ChatGPT to read everything, learn it, train itself to get to where it is today. Elon Musk earlier this year started his competitor to ChatGPT. He said by the end of the year, it will be the most powerful in the world. Okay. Took 7 years to do ChatGPT where it is today. What Elon did is he bought 100,000 of those chips and stuck them all together, creating the most powerful computer on the planet. It didn't take him 7 years to do ChatGPT. It took 7 days to surpass ChatGPT in 3/4 of the things it was tested on. That's how powerful this stuff is getting and how fast it's learning. Now, if you want some crazy, I'll just share one more thing. Crazy stuff. The power required in order to do that kind of thing. So Microsoft, who is an owner of ChatGPT, they open a data center, which is basically a bunch of those computers. They open one of those every 3 days. At the current rate, though the Microsoft ChatGPT data centers in 3 years will take up 5% of the country's energy. These things are so powerful that for every 100 words it outputs to you as an answer requires 3 liters of water to cool the machines down. There are all kinds of issues related to scaling this stuff and making it bigger. But that's going to be the challenge. And that's where the innovators in this space are going to come out.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Scott. John, you have any questions for Scott?
No, I'll be honest. I'm taking all this in.
Nice.
I'm old school, man. I'm where you were saying, scared of it. It's new. I don't understand it, but fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being here.
Awesome. Yeah, just go into ChatGPT and just ask it the question. Hey, I'm new to this. What do I need to know about you? How do I use it? And it will tell you. And I guarantee you it'll be fun because you'll be so blown away by how good it is.
I have a good one for these guys, Scott. This is a little bit, so Godfather, if you're dealing with someone that wants to cancel or somebody that, is like an issue or whatever like that, what I do is I type in my response and I'll like someone, whatever they want to cancel, whatever they're complaining about. And then I'll say I'll put in my response. I'll say, they'll make this sound much better and really appreciative. So I come off sounding like a person that's really caring. And I even use this on clients. I swear to God, I use it on clients because they're asking a question that I want to say, are you brain dead? You know what I mean? Like, are you serious? You know what I mean? And then I go into ChatGPT and I put in like something that's obviously not as bad. And because I'm like, how are you asking me this question? Like, I'm using it for responses. You know what I mean? Like, and same thing, like a lot of people are lazy. Like, well, how do I do this? You know what I mean? And instead of sending them a video, like you literally could say, explain to them how to do this in Go High Level or in Engage software. And it literally explains them how to do it. Yeah. So Yeah.
So let's actually do something. Let's just do something fun. We'll just do one quick thing. So I have ChatGPT open. Okay. So this is all that it looks like, right? And I can ask it a question. I just type into this field what my question is. I can ask it to create an image or write a business plan for make a plan, analyze. There's all kinds of things I can do. So let's say, first of all, just hey, good afternoon, Chat GPT. Do you mind if I call you Bob? And it says, good afternoon. You can definitely call me Bob if you like. How can I assist you today? So tell me, give me the name of one of your facilities.
Let's do Godfather. What's the name of your school?
Fournier's, excuse me, Fournier's Leadership Karate.
40 years leadership karate?
Yeah, Fournier, Fournier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ourni. Oh, hold on. Okay. Bob. Fournier Leadership Karate is based in, where are you located?
Westbrook, Maine.
Westbrook, Maine. It is absolutely amazing. Here are 3 reasons why. Just give me 3 reasons why.
Well, for me,
Yeah, what are 3 reasons why it's a cool place?
cool place. Number one, we actually do teach leadership. So we teach kids confident communication. We teach them to become better versions of themselves.
Nice.
And we love to instill confidence, courage, creativity in children.
It's creativity in them. What I'd like you to do is create an ad to attract new members that I will run on Facebook. How old is your average person in your class?
I would say 9 years of age.
Okay. The average member is 9 years old. Can you make a great ad that targets that 9-year-old's parents so they buy a membership? So I just asked it that question, and let's just see what it comes back. So the headline: Empower your child to lead with confidence at Fournier Leadership Karate. Are you looking for a way to help your child grow in confidence, leadership, and communication? At Fournier Leadership Karate in Westbrook, Maine, we do more than just teach martial arts. We teach life skills. Here's why parents are enrolling their 9-year-olds with us. Leadership skills. We guide kids to become better future leaders, both in and out of the dojo. Confident communication. Watch your child develop the ability to speak up and express themselves clearly. Personal growth. Through karate, your child will learn discipline, respect, and how to be the best version of themselves. Enroll now and give your child the gift of confidence, creativity, and leadership. And then there's a call to action. First class is free. Sign up today and see how our program can make a difference in your child's life. Click below to learn more. I used to pay copywriters to do that.
Yep.
And that was free.
Wow.
And I can just ask it if I want, create 10 more of those. And so I can see, or take this part out or that part out. So anyway, I really wanted to share with you guys some practical ways that you can use this today that are simple and work.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Scott. I mean, I really appreciate your time. And yeah, I think that these guys, I know it was a tough time for people to make it in, but that's exactly what they needed. And thank you for your connection to Dara.
Yeah.
And for those guys from Delphi. I think that next week, I think a lot of these guys will come on. I'll even show them mine and how we're using. I'm not utilizing mine enough.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it's such a great tool, but I'm already thinking of other ways of using it. So yeah, it's just there's the speed of the way you can move faster, guys. It's like having another employee when you find out how to use it.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Think of Chat GPT like this. Think of it as it's like an assistant for you. Like in the same way that I just said, write an ad, You could say, write a contract.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
100%.
I need a new agreement for parents. This is what it is. It will give you a contract as good as any attorney out there. You
Write
know,
a new student
most
creed.
attorneys out there.
A new student creed based on my leadership or my principles. You know what I mean? Everyone's got the same student creed in the martial arts. It's ridiculous. As a dedicated student of the martial arts, I intended about myself like it's 30 years old. Everyone's using the same one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You can literally take your financials. Let's say you have them on Excel or something, or you download them from QuickBook. You just upload them. You just attach the file. You upload it, and you say, "Hey, here's last month's financials. What do I need to pay attention to? What can you tell me that I'm not seeing?" And it will highlight all the things as a business owner you need to pay attention to that it sees in your financials.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Give Scott a hand, everyone. Thank you so much, Scott. Shannon, did you have any questions for Scott at all? I'm sorry, I missed Shannon.
Just a quick one, maybe. How for a small business, right? Because I'm associated with Lewis Martial Arts, and they're a small business. They do more where they connect with the customer or the clients a lot more. Do you think ChatGPT will lose out on that connection by using it more, or would it be okay to still keep that connection that they want with the small business?
Like if they were writing communications things that they then sent, but they had ChatGPT write the communications thing.
Yeah, or the ads, like just keeping it more personal, in touch with the clientele, or is it going to make it more broad where it's not as in touch, more big business?
So a prompt is another word for saying a question. It's like an engineer speak, right? Like technical jargon. Prompt is a question. If you say, or an instruction, if you were to tell ChatGPT, I want you to make this personal, and here's what personal means to me. And you could go further. Here's like what's important to these people, right? Here's what's whatever. If you instruct it, it will do exactly what you ask it to do. And what you could also do is you could say, we're going to send a message out to this group every month for the next 12 months or every week for the next 12 weeks. Would you write a sequence for the next 12? And it will write each one of those communications for you for the whole sequence. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Scott.
Awesome.
All right. Take care, you guys.
No, we'll stop the recording on the Brotherhood. Thank you so much, Scott. And I'll be
Hey,
talking.
Scott, thank you very much.
Right on. Take care, you guys.